Okay, y'all, I'm not using my phone. I'm on my laptop for the first. Okay, cool. So y'all can come back and see this video later. And yeah. Okay. All right, bet. All right, so I know it's been just a few of y'all. Like, I just appreciate y'all. Essence, my sis Essence, just telling me how much y'all miss me going live, and it's been a minute, but I needed to do exactly what this title is today, which was self love. Like, what is self love? How do you learn to love yourself? And I've been talking to a few of my friends or whatever, my village, my circle, and just really talking about like what self love for real, and how do you hold on y'all, let me go back because I'm supposed to be recording. Give me 1 second. My apologies. But I'm talking about self love, and what is self love, and how do we learn how to love ourselves properly. Like, how do you truly learn how to love yourself in a healthy way, the proper way that you're supposed to love yourself? We're not really taught that. You just taught, you come in this realm and you learn self-love through your parents. But what if you don't have parents? What if you don't have a mother, a father? Or what if you do have family around you, but the love is toxic? If your love is toxic, then if you was raised in a family where it's toxic love, then how do you think you're going to come out to be? You're going to come out to be a toxic individual. And that's part of step one of how I started to learn to love myself and identify if I was loving myself in a healthy way or in a negative way. Am I the negative person in a relationship? And I'm talking about with friendships, business ships, romantic ships, all of it. Like, am I the toxic one? Is my love a positive love, or is it a toxic love? And that's a part of self-love and self-journey. A lot of our ladies, we talk about, oh, I'm in my soft girl era, I'm in my soft era. Well, what does that mean? What does soft girl era mean? I know a lot of people think that self-love is going to get your hair done, going to get your nails done, um, but it's so much more to that. Self-love is being able to love yourself first and hold yourself accountable, being honest with yourself even when it hurt. Example, let's just say you are a spontaneous person, promiscuous person, like you like to, what they say, get around. What if you that man who don't know how to keep it in his pants? That's you, that girl that don't know how to keep her legs closed. Well, you have to be able to identify that with yourself and then accept it. Accepting your truth. Like, I keep holding my hands like this because this is something that I do when I get in the mirror, is I like to do this and speak my affirmations to myself, because if don't nobody else love me, I'ma love me. And I'ma love me all the way. If don't nobody else love me, don't nobody else care for me, I'ma care for myself. I'ma hold on to me. And that's just a part of self-love. That's a part of one of the things that I had to do, was go back and look in the mirror and be honest with myself, from the good to the bad. Knowing yourself is a part of your self-love journey. See, we don't know how to love ourselves, but these are the things that I had to do to learn how to love myself, was to do this. Hold on to Shakira no matter what, no matter what I went through as a child. Because I have a lot of things that I had to grow through in life. So a part of learning to love myself is being able to identify my traumas. And then once I was able to identify my traumas, I had to forgive. See, we think forgiveness is for the other person. I forgive you this time. You ain't doing that person a favor, whether you forgive them or not. You're doing yourself a favor. Self-love is forgiveness for what people has done to you and what you have done to yourself. Yes, forgiveness is being able to say, I'm going to let go of how this person treated me. Because doing that is releasing negative, toxic energy from your spirit. It's for you. Forgiveness is for you. So I had to learn to forgive everybody and anybody that I felt done me wrong. And I had to forgive myself for the things that I've done wrong in the relationships, in the situations. Whatever the thing that I cause, self-love is accountability. You want to know how to love yourself, sis? You want to know how to love yourself, bro? Take accountability. Identify your weakness. Identify what triggers you. Identify what hurts you. How did you get to this hurt? How did you get to this place? Identify that. Identify yourself. Know you. Know what you can take. Know what you can't take. Man, all praises. You want to know how I learned to love myself? How I went from no self-esteem to self-esteem? Removing my ego, removing my pride, being honest with myself even when it hurt, being able to take constructive criticism from people, definitely from my circle, my village, from the people who I know love me. Another thing that I had to do was I had to walk away from relationships. From my marriage. You know, some of y'all know I used to be married. That wasn't easy to do, but it took bravery. That took loving Shakira. Letting go of different friendships. Homegirls, you know, it's just like, dang, she different level, different path. And not judging these people, but just saying, just knowing me, saying, you know what, this is not good for me, so I have to remove myself. So being able to walk away from a job, from a relationship of any kind, that's loving you first. Knowing how to say no to other people without feeling guilty. This is something that I had to learn, y'all. I was such a people pleaser. I wanted to please everybody around me. But the moment that I started learning to please myself, which is sitting with myself. Another thing I had to do is sit with myself. And I know I'm going so fast with all these things on how I began to love myself, but I hope y'all can be able to just write this down and take notes. If you don't know how to love yourself, or if you feel like you know somebody who don't love themselves properly. Like, I love being alone. I need my alone time. I had to learn how to be alone without feeling lonely. Just enjoying my own company. Like, it's a high. There'll be me and my incense and my tea. Vibe out. And I can sit with me for hours, for days. Like, I be good, you know? And I'm gonna say last year I had to learn like what was going on with me. And I'm like, I got to a stage where I didn't want to be alone. I'm like, dang, God, why I don't want to be alone? What's wrong with me? But this goes to another thing that is self-love. It's giving yourself grace and mercy. I remember last year, 2023, I was just so uncomfortable as a season, a few months where I was just so uncomfortable and I did not want to be alone. And I'm like, dang, what's wrong? Like, why? What's going on with me? And so Spirit, after I came out of meditation and I just had to listen, Spirit spoke back to me and told me, girl, give yourself grace and mercy. You are a baby. You are a sibling of 6 kids. You got pregnant at 16. You had your daughter at 17. Then you got married. You was married for 14 years. Like, then you did this, then you did this. So this is the first time in your life where you're in this big behind house and it's just you. You've always had somebody in the house with you. Give yourself grace and mercy. And when I heard Spirit say that, I was like, self-love is giving yourself grace and mercy. Forgiveness, forgiving yourself, knowing your triggers, Knowledge of self is the biggest key. Remember this right here, y'all. Hold on to you. You can't hold on to nobody else. Hold on to you. Water yourself first. I remember I used to be trying to pour into everybody because, again, remember, I was a people pleaser. And that came from not knowing my worth, not knowing my value. But how I learned to love myself is I had to learn my value, understand my worth. When you know your value, you know that you are worthy of the best relationships. You deserve the for real sisterhood. The one who would really have your back. That sisterhood that's going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. You're going to be in a relationship where that man and that woman value you and love you. They know your worth. They're not going to take advantage of your time, your energy, your mind, your heart, your soul. They're going to nurture you. But they're going to nurture you because you nurture you. You're not just trying to people please. Oh, I got to make sure my mother-in-law love me. I got to make sure my father-in-law love me. I got to make sure my best friend like me. I got to make sure my auntie like me. I got to make sure my co-workers, my boss, No, baby. No, boo. That ain't how that work. Pour into you first. You love you. I tell my children all the time. Are you happy with what you are? You happy the way you look? You happy with your grades? You happy with this? You happy with that? You create your reality. If you don't like something about you, change it. Self-love is looking in that mirror and accepting everything about yourself, loving you for who you are and where you are in life. And then self-love is growing. If you don't like it, you know you can do better, do it. So that takes me to my next thing. But self-love isn't how I learned to love myself is I had to learn to be consistent with me. I was just talking to a friend last night and they said, I can't get in a relationship right now because, shoot, I don't even know how to keep my word to myself. I can't be committed to myself while I like trying to be committed to somebody else. I said, sheesh, you ain't lying, you ain't lying. If you can't be committed to yourself and going to the gym or telling your homegirl, telling your homeboy, we're going to meet up at 12 o'clock and you 1:30, 2 o'clock. You can't even keep your word for something that small. Where's your self-love? Self-love looks like self-control, self-discipline, knowing when to back away from the table, knowing when to back away from the cigarettes, back away from the drinks, back away from sex, being celibate for a while, to sit with you, to clear your heart, your mind, to understand and understand who you are. These are some of the things that I had to do to love on me. And I really hope that it helps you all. And it really helps the parents. Let me get to my parents really quick. Like, if your mom, your parents was in your life, or whoever, however you were raised, and they taught you, sit your A down, and you so MF bad, and you remind me of your MF and daddy, and da-da-da-da-da-da. Like, how you think that child gonna grow up to love on themselves? I'll wait. How you think your child gonna grow up and love themselves? If you talking to your child like that, how you think your child gonna learn to love themselves? What relationship you think your child gonna get in? A healthy one? I doubt it, because they wasn't raised in healthy love. So we have to be careful on how we talk to our kids, and then ask yourself, why you talk to your child like that? It may be because you don't love yourself properly. Maybe your love is toxic. Because let's face it, love is an opinion. It's an opinion. Because I can say you don't love me because you would never cheat on me. Or you don't love me because you wouldn't tell me to sit my A down. You don't love your kids because you wouldn't tell your children to sit their A down. You would say sit your behind down, or sit your butt down, sit your tail down. But who am I to tell somebody they don't love their child because they use profanity? Right? So we have to identify if our love is toxic or is it healthy. That's a part of my self-care journey, is having to identify, like, is my love toxic or is it healthy? And then ask your people, ask your village around you. How do they receive your love? What do they think about your love? And don't be mad at you Don't be mad at them if they tell you, yo, your love is pretty harsh. Because remember, self-love is acceptance, everything about yourself, and then growing and changing and evolving to become a better person. So being able to recognize your childhood trauma, going back to self-worth, value yourself, knowing your intuition, trusting the God and the goddess that's within you, that's self-love. Being able to identify the God and the goddess that's within you. If you don't understand that you a whole God, you a whole goddess, you a king or a queen, then sheesh, you might need to go check yourself, because you probably wrecking yourself for real. Trusting your intuition, trusting the God and the goddess that's within you, removing your pride and your ego. These are things that I had to do to love and water myself, and I continue to do it. So I hope this is the first week of January. I would be going live more for those, but this is January. So let's start the year off with learning ourselves and learning how to love ourselves properly. And sometimes being in no relationships, like, well, I'm gonna go on romantic relationship. Like, sometimes it's best to just, all the energy that you can put into somebody else, put it into yourself. I've been doing that for a few years now, and I'm so ready for a relationship, but at the same time, I'm not ready for a relationship. I'm not. I have situations going on. But seriously, I'm only sharing this because I'm talking to myself as well, with a lot of things, and reminding myself on some of the steps that I had to take. And I shared a lot of those things with you all in the past, when I used to always talk about spiritual baths, and I started my company. That was another way how I was able to heal myself from a lot of traumas, which was taking my spiritual bath, doing a yoni steam, talking to my womb, giving myself womb massages. Those are ways that I self-care, love on myself, do my self-care, and loving myself healthy and properly. And so as women, I hope that you do, give yourself womb massages, talk to your womb, go within, and just keep your legs closed. Even if you are in a relationship, just tell your husband, hey baby, let me just go talk. Let me check me out. Let me get in alignment real quick. And vice versa for our brothers. Like, just take a moment to just ching ching, just close in and just go in with God for real. God is within you. God is not outside. Y'all already know my beliefs. Like, my teachings and my walk with Christ, with the Most High. Like, it's going within. Going within yourself, pouring into you. And I'm going to leave you with this. I'm always saying, like, water your tree, water yourself, because we are nothing but trees and plants. And sometimes the plant and the tree look dead because it's brown and yellow. But remember, nothing in nature dies. Nothing dies. Your roots, if your roots are good, and most of the time the roots on the tree, the roots of the plant be good. And as long as that root good, meaning long as you can remember and just take the time and the self-discipline and the care to go within yourself, dig down to your roots, and go back to your childhood in the beginning, and go from there and heal yourself, love on yourself, water yourself, and watch how the plant, watch how you start flourishing and evolving and just becoming so dope. I'm gonna put my shades back on with that, because I'm about to go and end this live so I can go water myself. You feel me? Like, you just be glowing different when you love yourself. So learn to love yourself. I hope this was inspirational and it taught you a few things about yourself, because we are one. And everything that I go live about and talk about is because of the things that I have done. I'm not just running off at the mouth. I'm actually living this lifestyle and taking the time out for myself, loving myself, learning who I am, and in hopes that the love that I have and the things that I have to grow through in life and the steps that I take, I just share it in hopes that it helps somebody else outside of me. Knowledge, I'm Goddess K. Please share this video And Lisa comment, and if y'all feel like tell me what some things that y'all do to love yourself, you know, some things that you had to do. And if your love is toxic, are you the toxic one, you know? And if that's the case, it's okay, because remember, self-love is acceptance, accepting everything about you and being able to identify, you know, your weakness and your traits and who you are as a person, good or bad, and going from there, growing from there, excuse me. All right, I love y'all. I love my self reflections. Later.